After all your necessary schooling, you'd walk into job titles like intern or trainee, or maybe something more prestigious like associate or junior this or junior that. Yeah. You know why? It's because you're about to spend another 6 to 24 months learning what your employers need you to do for them. And yeah, with pay. Hopefully they pay you, Sha. This orientation or probation still applies to the pros, those ones that move from one employer to the other. They still go through this thing. And so, in some humbling yet cyclical way, everyone has got to start again. My point? Restarting is a soft skill. It's the measure of how minute one is willing to be for a season to be gargantuan in another. You're welcome to the glide. Today we'll be exploring probably the most dreaded thought for anyone about practically anything. Let's talk about starting again. Oh, okay. Maybe just starting. It's been a minute. Hello. How you doing? I've missed you too. But yeah, I think I might have stalled enough to be nicely poised to do this episode by myself. So here we go. I've got 3 questions as always, but this time I'll be posing them to myself. And hopefully it might be an exercise in deducting or being a Sherlock Holmes, but I won't be saying the questions. I will just go about answering them, right? So yeah, I got to move to Port Harcourt about 2 years, going on 3 years ago. And I won't say I didn't know what to expect. I was moving cities, but obviously I was coming back home. There is food at home, or there is food at home. But yeah, more importantly, it was just the community. It felt like at the point where I started becoming so comfortable with my friends in the bush, Abuja, I like at that point where it felt like, it's about to be great. I had to leave because they told me to leave. Story for another day. But yeah, and I come here and it was a journey of, finding new friends and, acclimatizing. And I guess what made it easier for me was my friend group or groups for the past couple of years have just been forged in church. And thankfully, my church I have the privilege of having my church have branches in different cities. So, what I'm describing now will be the case in the event I move to a different city, hopefully. But yeah, I had to acclimatize myself get acclimatized to new siblings, and it was quite interesting. Well, it wasn't for the first couple of Sundays because I just showed up and left. Right, until one of these days where, when you're not doing anything with your phone, don't lie, you are just you're just swiping back and forth to your home screen tabs, like you're now at your widget places. I don't know, you're just playing with widgets and you're randomly playing a game. You're not paying attention to the game, you're observing what's going on around you. And yeah, so I need to stay behind after service and not run away. I'm shading somebody. I hope you know that I'm shading you. But yeah. Anyways, I stayed behind and I was scrolling. And I think at this point I was now fake calling. I was trying to make a call, but it didn't go through. But I still went on to try to fake call. Oh my God. It's terrible now I think about it. And then somebody walks up to me. I was like, oh, why are you sitting here by yourself? And that was just the beginning of a lot. Because from them, I met somebody else. And then from that... from that person, I met, a lot more people, and then obviously bonds and stuff started being. But I guess the simpler thing would have been to walk up to somebody and actually look them in the eyes and say hi. But where's the fun in that? So, yeah. I think even with regards starting, the glide itself was a whole thing. I it started after I'd cried and written this note to God. I think I decided not to type it. I wrote it out on my tab. I'm like, okay, you know what? I'm gonna do this. And but like, just like with everything else, it's like, yeah, first what am I going to say? Okay, now I know I'm going to say, no, but the microphone isn't that good. But like I want to do videos, but like I can't. It's like, and like it's a thing, right? And then finally for the thing I've been working on for so long, by the time you're hearing this, it should have gone live already. It's a brand I'm creative directing, and it's called Of the Spool. Yeah. Make I no lie. I want to pride myself in being jack of all trades, but I'm terrible at multitasking. And so, because I've had my focus on that one thing, many other things have been on pause. And, when I say I think I'm nicely poised to speak about, starting, I think Of the Spool is the reason for that. This is my second venture at the clothing industry, or, business of clothes and stuff. First one was really off a whim. I was in school, plenty leverage. If I feel like go home, well, it's not like if I feel I'm not going to go home now, but point is, like it was me as a student, like I was, there was a lot of vim, and Ted Collections was burst, right? And to be fair, I think people rated it, I think I actually got fans. I can't forget the one person that's like, I really, really, really love your shirts, and was standing me even when I was not standing myself. So, like, yeah, like, I think I learned a thing or two, but it was very sad to see it go defunct, especially because of my money management. I don't know if I should have said that, because now it seems like I'm a spender, but like I'm not a spender. Like I didn't throw away all the money. I promise. I just don't know where he went to. I don't buy. How do I explain this now without sounding irresponsible? Well, I'll just leave it there. But point is, just doing Of the Spool, it was more than just a restart. One time it was like a restart, because I had worked on a brand before Of the Spool for like a year. Finally assembled the Avengers, assembled a whole team of people. I was like, let's do this, and then it was like, get samples, and do that and do this, and yeah, brand, logo. I was building a brand guideline and all this stuff. And like my friend would say, bro, I wish you could find a partner, while you do all these aesthetics and how the brand looks, somebody is holding you accountable to what you're actually selling, because bro, where's the product, right? Shout out to him, by the way. So yeah, that also did not fly. Well, it's going to come eventually, but that did not fly. And then I, focused on other things, and then yeah, came back again. So I think I know a thing or two about starting again. Let's not talk about talking stages here, because well, in any case, I'm not the expert. There's a guy that we call ex-convict. I believe that, he's well versed in the arts of the talking stage. But yeah, for you guys into that kind of thing, you know how it is. You know how it is. You've been doing it over and over again. You're a pro. You should hit me up. You should be on this particular episode. But yeah, I think I know a thing or two about starting again. And so the scariest thing about starting is starting. the problem is the start. It really is, because at the beginning, typically, and hopefully this is not just me, you have the black hat on. Shout out and props to Edward De Bono. You might want to check out this whole 6 hats concept, but it kind of clarifies what I'm about to speak about. So like black is one of the colors. It's one of the 6 colors of hearts that he proposes should be worn in any creative exercise, for best outcomes. And the black hat dude or babe is the one that is, the pessimist. Okay, these are all your beautiful ideas. Yeah, sorry. This is how it's not going to work. This is the reason why it won't work. And I find that that's a problem. That we almost always begin stuff bright and happy, and it's almost like there's there's just youth there. There's that effervescence, there's a buoyancy. I go school, and you're floating, and then it's like, okay, let's do this. And all of a sudden, without your knowing, you have your black hat on. Oh, but like if I do this, like this is not going to work, and then that's not going to work, and then that's not going to work, and it's like, bro, it's a thing, right? I also think that the idea of thought is comforting, where human beings decide to accept thinking as doing. I thought it was a joke, but when I saw this in I think it's Ryan Holiday's exposition of his book, The Obstacle is the Way, he was pointing out how when he set out to write books, or I think it was just that book, I can't remember now, but he set out to write a book and did not tell anybody about it. Because, I guess he's like me in that regard. He knew if he had told people about it, he would have spent hours and hours and hours speaking about the book. This was going to be like this is how like it should be. These are target audience, these are the people. And just hearing that, I think I paused the video at that point, or maybe not, but point is, it just resonated a lot with me, because if only you heard me speak about the ideas I have in my head. Oh my Lord. That this was something akin to the brand that never was before of this pool. Even for of this pool, I have almost nothing figured out. But if you hear me speak about it, I talk a lot. At this point, I figured that that's something that you should know. But it's not even. This is not just irrelevant babbling. I think it might be a gifting, but whatever it is, I will tell you what I think. I will ideate, post. I will ideate, and then I'd leave you wondering, man, why is this thing not even a thing yet? Like, do you get why is this product not available for me to buy now? And then with that look on your face, with you actually saying that to me, I smile, I nod, go back home and do absolutely nothing. Because, I shared my thoughts, it made sense to you and a couple other people. And boy, man, it's going to be a crazy stuff, man. It's going to be great. Yeah. And a lot of the time, that seems to be good enough. And then for the people that are maybe just a bit more like me, weirdly enough, like you find that you're a lot more akin to my kind of human being. Well, good luck to you, Sha. But yeah, for those guys, remember how it's typical to wear a black hat at the start of things, right? For someone that's meant to be fashionable, case in point, me, yeah, I find myself wearing the blue hat a lot. Back to the De Bono analogies here. But boy, can I be a control freak. So the blue hat is the hat that speaks to control and management of the ideas of all the other hats. And yeah, I think I take it to the extreme. I probably paint my own blue hat vivid blue. It's crazy because, wow. Low key, okay, maybe high key. It's why you've only gotten this many episodes on the Glide. It's because everything is very, very, very preempted. Well, okay, most things. Yeah. And so, because I set out to do things a certain way, with a certain plan, with a certain intention behind the plan. On the way to the goal, where there is some sort of obstacle or something that I set out to do couldn't be done because I needed that to. Okay, I'm confusing my audience. Let's start again. Say I'm trying to get to Z from A. We're on 25 steps from A to Z, right? Ish. Typically, like I have it set up in my brain, I'm going to go from A to B to, all the way to Z. And now what happens is, if I move from A to D and there's something off with E, I can see that I can move to F, but just cause like E is flickering or E is inserting, guess what your boy does? He pulls the plug. Yeah, he pulls the plug, and it's sometimes it's not great. I'm thinking about myself now I'm thinking about stuff I've done in hindsight. I'm like, yeah, you should have just jumped to G or something, because you would have been fine. But no, I read the Blue Hat a lot, and I find that it's not great. It really doesn't help to what we're talking about now. Start again, right? So here's one question I'll let you know I'm answering. How can we effectively pace ourselves? How do we deal with the overwhelm? How do we embrace new and small beginnings? Well, maybe we don't. Maybe the key isn't to be comfortable or at peace with the actions we are about to take. I'll explain. So, it's like my gym story. Exactly. I have no story. I have absolutely no story. I really want to do calisthenics. I don't know. I'm not one for the weights and all that, and that's because I'm trying to look as naturally aesthetic as possible. Talk. What's the name of this ratio now? I forget it, but it starts with an A. See, Adino or I feel. But it's just some master Da Vinci did some time ago, and Adonis ratio. I went to school, but that's not the point of this podcast. Yeah. Point is, I want to do calisthenics because I think it's better for strength building, and it gives you a more aesthetically pleasing, physique. That's what I think. But the wahala, the problem is that I find myself doing the same set of exercises for so long, and then I do these exercises on and off. Bro, there are no gains. No gains, bro. No single one gain, right? And currently I've not even worked out in a while, and I must say I'm quite comfortable, But exactly, that's the point. Yeah, like that's the point. I'm very comfortable threatening the world from the comfort of my bed. If I mistakenly get shredded, that's the end. I mean, to shut down the airports, the national grid, that's probably a fairy tale in my country. I it will give way. Everywhere will tear. Everywhere. It's very, yeah. But yeah, maybe the key isn't to be comfortable or at peace with the actions we're about to take. Maybe it help to shut our eyes, choose the unease of uncertainty, and actively grope in the dark. And then do it, going blind. It's crazy that there's a text to this effect, but I will not preach on you. I will refrain, and I won't preach on you. But I'll let you know this. New beginnings are always small. And this is regardless of the extent of your audience, You might already be popping, you might already be popular, and so you have a lot of people that are going to help on your stuff, regardless of when you start or how you start. This is regardless of your leverage, etc. It doesn't really matter. The point is your muscles of intuition or wisdom, or your muscles for sheer experience At the start of any given venture, these muscles will be dainty, will be cute. You will be small for a time. Note to Tom George, you will be small for a time. So get used to it. Yeah. Get used to being the epitome of waste and inefficiency. No, hopefully just for a season, like don't stay there, but get used to that. My bro, I really don't want to have to go all Nike on you. So yeah, don't do it. You hear me? Don't do it. But please, let me not hear Pim. Don't stop talking about it. Just, don't do it is fine, but don't talk about it. Don't tell me. Don't tell me. I don't like that I have to say this, but I put it to you. It's not giving. Yeah, it's not giving. I hope to one day find out who collects all the things everyone has been giving for the past 2 or 3 years. But I hear that apparently the people that have been collecting are the ones that are keen to, the concept of shege. God be with them. Actually, God be with all of us. Because if there's anything we can all agree on, is that shege is a universal concept. Yeah. For my listeners in diaspora, because we're global now, shege is wahala. And if you don't know what wahala is, I think there's a problem, but I'll explain. Wahala is problem. So yeah, everybody they collect. Diaspora. Okay. First of all, try the LMPG. Yes, but this is what I'm trying to say. At some point,